Hello, it's Parker51 Guy again, and today I'm going to be doing a restoration on a pen that is very similar to the filling system from one of my first videos. I did a Sheaffer snorkel restoration, and a lot of the things involved in this similar to that video, although it doesn't involve the complications of the snorkel tube. What I have here is a Sheaffer Imperial with an inlaid gold nib, and it's a touchdown filler. And what that means is you have a lot of the basic mechanics of what was going on with the snorkel, namely the tube inside of the barrel to compress the sac that's inside of the metal sac guard, but you actually immerse the section up beyond the nib and feed to fill it with ink when you push down the filler rod or tube. Anyway, one of the first things you're going to want to do is you open up the pen, and I have I get a long handled flat blade. I've already started this, so it's going to be a briefer video, but get on the screw that holds the cap, the blind cap, onto the tube. Now that's magnetized, the screw came out, don't lose that. Then you can pull the blind cap off, and then if there was if the seal that's in there, the O-ring, that wouldn't usually slide out as easily, but I've already taken that O-ring gasket seal out. So what you would do is, and be careful, I use dental picks to get that seal out, and it's just inside the back end of the barrel. The one I had in there was a white rubber, so it was clearly obvious when I shined my flexible neck flashlight in the LED light in there. So I just took my pick and very carefully, because the wall thickness and the strength of this plastic, you could poke right through or whatever, and you don't want to mess it up. So you just get it in there and try to hook it and then pull it out. I mean, like most repairs and restorations, it's not always as easy as what you think it should be. So I have a replacement touchdown O-ring seal for the back of the barrel, and you can get those online. A lot of pen repair places have them. I'm not going to plug any particular vendor. There's a lot of reputable vendors out there. So what I do is I take pure silicone grease, and then coat that around so that you're going to get a good seal in the barrel. And this can be a bit tricky to get that into there. I actually use this dental burnisher, and you can try to bend it and get it started in there. I don't know if you can see, but essentially you want to try to get it started, and there is a little indentation in there. And what I find usually is that fitting that plunger rod in there can help you get it seated in. I don't know if that did it or not. I'll have to check. I'll find my flashlight. 1 second. Okay, after my fair share of finagling and finessing, and got that in there, so now there is a tight fit. It doesn't move in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace that blind cap back on there. When you're tightening that back on, be gentle. You want it tight, but you know that plastic isn't the strongest stuff, and it doesn't need to be tightened down and killed. So there you've got the barrel, and there is pressure building up in there. The next thing you come to is going to be the sack protector and the metal sack guard. What I did was I used my hair dryer and I heated around there in that area until it got slightly uncomfortable hot. Then I took a piece of gripping rubber and you know, protecting this end, making sure I didn't do anything, and I just pulled it off of there. Now what I found was, and it was like a kind of a pinkish red residue, and it's still on there. As far as I can tell, that's the Sheaffer thread sealant. It does look like this is kind of crimped on there somewhat, but not as radically as the crimps in a snorkel fill unit. So what I've done is, next thing, I have a number 14 straight sack that I cut to length, and you can see that that's, you know, I measured it out so it wouldn't take as long. I've got my shellac. Off camera, I'm going to heat up around there until I can pull off the sack, because that'll this sack is still pliable, but it's hard to tell how long it's been in there, and I'm just going to put a new one in. Alright, that's totally clean. I got the sack off. It just came off great. So I got my sack spreader here, some shellac, you know, your standard operation here for applying a sack or resacking. I just put the shellac around the sack nipple, give it you know, a few seconds, 10-15 seconds, to kind of get tacky, and set that down while I get the sack. Some people use talc on a sack. You know, I heard somewhere about using powdered graphite, and that's what I use. So put that on there, and then turn the sack, keep it up onto the step there until it cures, and you know, that'll be a few seconds. So before filling this, you're going to want to use you know, about at least a half hour time. So I'm going to let this dry and do that off camera, and be back to put it together and do a filling test to show you how this fills. Alright, so back. It's all back together. Sack protector's on. I put some thread sealant on there, just a dab, and open that up till it clicks. I heard it. Bring this in, put it into the water. up it beyond the section. Now, press it and let it in there for, I don't know, about 10 seconds, 15 seconds. I brought a graduated cylinder with me, the milliliters, and I'm going to see just how much ink this thing can hold. So, whoa, it's dripping. And what I do, kind of like a centrifuge, I hold the tip into the cylinder and then kind of move my arm like I was shaking it out, except into there. You know, it's not surprising because snorkels don't hold a lot, and the Touchdown's the same filling system, just through the feed and nib. I mean, literally, it looks like maybe 3 milliliters, 0.3, 3/10, so not 3 milliliters. That would be absolutely enormous. But anyway, it looks like this pen is filling, so I'm calling it a done deal. That being said, I wanted to show the nib off. It's got I would call it a broad nib for size of Sheaffer nibs. Do a writing sample, dip it, do a dip test, and be right back. Alright, so got some nice 90-gram Clairefontaine, and this thing writes very, very broad. So there's what you're dealing with line-wise. And up on top is what I wrote with a Bexley 2016 Owners Club in a fine Yovo 18 karat nib compared to the line of that. So yeah, this is a very wide nib on the pen. Well, I hope that was informative, and if you have any comments or questions, let me know, and I will be getting some more videos up as I get a chance, hopefully here soon. Thank you.